You don't want to miss this video. It is jam-packed with so much information. I'm going to show you court documents, government documents. We will discuss the Hamites that claim that America belongs to them, as well as their perpetual hatred for us and also the hatred of other nations have towards us, race relations in America among them and other racial groups, and much, much more. You don't want to miss it. Stay locked in. And please like, share, subscribe, and comment.
Lend your ear, open your mind. You're gonna learn a lot about your past and yourself you didn't know before. The past affects your future.
What I'm about to show you is going to blow some of your minds. A lot of you disregard the scriptures completely. Keep in mind that looking into the scriptures has nothing to do with religion. Religions use scripture in their religious practices. One of the key components in understanding history completely is to delve into the scriptures. Because believe it or not, at least the Old Testament portion of the Bible lines up with true history. Genesis chapter 10 is literally the who's who of the world. You will get to know every single solitary nation of people that actually exists today. You will also see the role that they've played in history. Every single solitary nation had a role to play or has a role to play in history. Delving into the scriptures is one of the key ways is how I found out who I really am and why so many people hate my people. Questions about why they keep changing our identity, reclassifying us as different people, and questions that my family would not answer. They just, shh, we're just African Americans now. Just go along with it. No, but I'm not that type. So I needed to know. And the scriptures is what helped me to understand why, along with me doing research, traveling all around the world, and common sense. Even today, people still use the fact that they were the ancient people from these different lineages, from Shem, Ham, and Japheth, to prove certain things, whatever it is they want to and need to prove. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is an actual legal court document, the Moabites and the Canaanites. As you can see, it's dated August 15, 2014. So it's not ancient. But these people are calling themselves the Moabites and Canaanites. Who might that be? The Moors. They call themselves Moorish American people. This document states the pharaohs of Kemet invited them over from East Africa and the Atlantic islands to come to present-day continental America, which is ancient Egypt, which also proves my point that ancient Egypt is in America. Not only is Egypt in America, but according to these government documents, so is true Israel, which is the land of Canaan. What is this document about? It's about them claiming the Americas as theirs. They actually claim to be the owners of America and not us indigenous aborigines. Now, don't get it confused. A lot of people, assert that all of us are Moors, but we're not. We were actually conquered by the Moors. The Moors actually helped. They aided the Caucasoids in conquering us. And then they too were conquered themselves. I need to remind you of the Trail of Tears. It was also Moors who were kicked off the land and forced to make that walk all the way to Oklahoma. Not only that, you see the indigenous tribes, you see the Amasis, which are actually also Africans, and you see the Cherokee. Here's the Moors, the Olmecs, the Seminoles. All of them went to Oklahoma. So please don't think that I'm attacking Moors, because I'm not, because we can't blame all of them. Some of them actually went on the Trail of Tears with us and were dislocated from their homes and land. So by you dismissing the scriptures, you are actually missing out on a huge chunk of knowledge. Let me tell you, once you read the scriptures, you begin to decipher and understand who exactly is who in the scriptures, the different lineages, then your eyes will be opened. You will have so much knowledge of who each individual nation is and why what's going on today in the world is actually going on. Once you have that knowledge, you will completely understand that me deciphering the difference between my people and Africans is not division. Why? Because it was the Africans, the actual true E1B1B Africans, the ones that were named in that document, that assisted the other nations in ruining my people and destroying our identity, our languages, our culture, and everything. Let's take a close look at the Yamasis. They are of dark complexion. Now, this is before everybody was mixing. This is even prior to the Caucasoids coming over and colonizing America. They were inhabitants widely spread and scattered out throughout North and South America. and they were immigrants from Africa. Now, this is distinguishing them between us indigenous natives. They called us Indians when they came. It says that these Negroes being valuable as laborers. Now, this is where they were betrayed by the Caucasoids. Because remember, in Psalm chapter 83, it clearly states that they all came together, all the different nations, to ruin us, my indigenous ancestors, as a nation, to cut us off as a nation. So it distinguishes them. It says that these Negroes being valuable laborers, and it says the Indians, which is my people, were worthless. There you go, right there. There's a clear distinction between the African immigrants and my people, which are called Indians, and they called us worthless because we wasn't trying to work for them. We weren't trying to be slaves. We ain't your slaves, okay? But it clearly made a distinction that the immigrants from Africa, which they called Negroes, they were very valuable. And as you can see, these are some of the names that they reclassified us as, lumping us in with the Africans that were here on our soil in America, lumping us all into one group of people instead of our individual identities. And regardless of how much proof we show that we're not Africans, we still get backlash. We still get called names. People still fight us. But it's not for them to get it. It's for those who have ears to hear, to receive that information and take it in. They're stating that they're aboriginals of North, Central, and South America. And they have formed their sovereign theocratic government right here in Americas. Understand that they actually inhabited the land of Canaan prior to it being given to the Israelites as their land of promise. And they have come to claim it back. Let's take a look at the court document again. And you can clearly see that it was not only just the Canaanites, but it was, which is Ham's son, it was also the Moabites. Keep in mind, Ham, the Hamites, those are the Africans. And the Moabites, let's find out who they are. Let's take a look at the very bottom in the square. It was basically Edom, the Ishmaelites, and Moab, the Moabites, the Hagarites, which is Hagar's relatives, Biblios, Ammon, Amalek, Philistia, people of Tyre, even Assyria. They all reinforced Lot's descendants. So all of these people, now let me go back. Moab, the Moabites, that is actually Abram's nephew. And all of these people were actually related to the Israelites. They're related. They're Semitic people. However, they were not a part of the chosen lineage of people. So all those that were not included in the promise as being the chosen people, they all came together to destroy us. And yes, the Africans are included in that, which are the Canaanites and all of their descendants. And even to this day, there is a severe hatred of them towards us.
I hate them. End of Africans and African Americans, we've never gotten along. Not today, not yesterday, not 20 years ago, not 100. We've never gotten along. We don't get along. All I'm saying is that stay in your lane and I stay in my own lane. I don't have any interest or desire to have that kind of relationship that I know will never be. There is no need for me to pretend to like you. You don't like me. And I with my full chest, I don't like you either. So this one that we're supposed to come together, don't ask me to come and join you to march down the street for whatever cause it is you're marching. I'm not coming to march anywhere with you. So all I'm saying is that, why are we here asking each other to get along? Thinking that, we think African sisters were better than, I think I'm African, I'm better than African American. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't have any African American friend. I don't need to be friends with any African American. There's nothing friendship with them that I find interesting.
You heard the lady say that she's not going to go march anywhere with us. Well, our ancestors or us even going and marching is what brings us the rights that people who look like us from other countries come and they actually enjoy. A lot of them end up gaining political offices and they literally go against us. They strike down laws that can be passed to actually assist our people that are in need, and they actually strike it down. They get buddy-buddy with these people here and they stab us in the back after we've paved the way for them to actually be successful in America. they literally end up going against us completely and not appreciating, paving the way. Some of us have even lost our lives for marching for rights and advocating for rights, equal rights for us in this country. And they show us their appreciation by siding with these individuals against us, against reparations, against restitution, considering the fact that many were enslaved, others were prisoners of war, and they stole our land, our homes, they bombed them, they flooded them, our towns. Lots of lives were lost, burned down our towns, our homes, our land. They ran us up out of our homes with whatever we had on our backs is all we had, and forbade us to come back. Mobs lying on us and saying that our men raped their women, and all of the different horrendous things that they've done to our people, stripping us of all of our wealth. They have never made any type of repair for the damage that they've done to us. And so when the immigrants that look like us from other countries come, they side with them to further oppress us and not give us what we're due. This is another form of hatred that Africans show towards us so-called African Americans, us indigenous people of the Americas. No other country on this earth except for America, because it's immigrants that are running our country, give other people, immigrants, opportunities ahead of their own people. Well, this goes to show that the American government or corporation does not have us indigenous people's best interest at heart, because they allow foreigners to come and rise above us, to have opportunities that we actually march and fight for, that they had nothing to do with. They didn't even help us. They give our opportunities to others, and they push us out of it completely, not giving us any of the opportunities that we actually fought for. No other country does that besides the United States, because that's immigrants at the helm of our government, running it. And I still don't understand why our people are still voting for them. And in response to their hatred towards us, yes, a lot of our people give it right back to them. Here are several different scriptures that actually speak of even Edom's deep-seated hatred for the Hebrews, those with the E1B1A DNA haplogroup, which are not Africans. And for all of them to take our land from us, push us off our land, you have to keep in mind there were all of the indigenous land removals of every last one of the tribes, the Trail of Tears that sent many of them over to Oklahoma. It has pretty much scattered us throughout the U.S. The whole gentrification thing, that's a part of them stripping us from our land and pushing us further and further away, essentially out of the U.S. completely. Because again, they're trying to take possession of our land. And this is where this whole out of Africa nonsense comes from, making us think that we're from modern day Africa, which we're not. And it's not just them. It's all of the other nations as well. And it's clearly outlined in so many scriptures of how much the other nations hate us. Why is everyone fighting over America? Why did the Caucasoids and all the other nations, instead of going to Africa, which was 10 miles away, they came across to the Americas, which was 3,700 miles away? The clue is in the scriptures, Psalm 83:12. Because they know that it's God's land. It's God's country. And it was their desire to take possession of it, and not only the land, but the people. So for those of you who are continually asking, well, why don't you speak your native language, and mocking us and being actually quite disrespectful. Oh, well, what about your culture? What about this? And what about that? This is about it. They all came together, all the nations, including the Moors, which are Africans, which is why, again, I distinguish myself from the Africans, because we are not the same people. With cunning, they conspire against your people. They plot against your cherished ones and say, come, let us destroy them as a nation, so that Israel's name is no more remembered. Okay, so this is one of the reasons why they renamed us and reclassified us as Aborigines and indigenous people and colored and black and NEGRO and Afro-American and then finally African-American, because they were trying to destroy our identity. They didn't even want us to know who we are. And they actually changed the names of the landmass. They named modern day Africa, ancient Africa, which we know those people don't even have an ounce of DNA over there in Egypt and everything. And the people in Israel, in the so-called Middle East, which is actually Africa, they didn't come there until like the 1940s, right? It was Palestine prior to that. Okay, so it's a huge ruse. So they had to change my people's identity. They had to change the name of the land in order to obscure our identity. And who was involved in that? Well, it tells you right here, all of the different nations of the earth, every last one of them, including the Africans, were involved in destroying us as a people. This is why it is extremely important that you get to understand the scriptures, even if you're not religious. Again, it's used in religion. Reading the Bible does not mean that you are a religious person or you're a part of religion. I'm not a part of any religion, but it will give you major knowledge downloads. You will know so much. You will be able to put so many pieces of the puzzle of who we are and just the world, our existence, and why things operate the way they do. Are the Moors still against us? That's to be determined. I don't know. Did they learn their lesson from being betrayed by the people that they helped to ruin our identity? I don't know.
I sure
have to
hope
ask
you
them.
enjoyed this presentation and the knowledge that you've gained. Please do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share.
You can send your donations to Cash App, truenativeshba.